Hey there, it's Trisha with Easy E-mini Trade, and I just want to go over breakout and breakdown trades. We haven't done those in a while, so I wanted to remind you how to trade those. And then if you want access to any of my past webinar recordings, I actually put a page on my website where you can access those, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So let's get started here. So what you're looking at is NQ on a 5-minute chart. And for you, those of you who don't remember how to take the breakout or breakdown trades, what we're trying to do is capitalize on stops getting hit. So what we're looking for is we're looking for a big bottoming tail with the majority of the candle pushed up toward the upper third, or a big topping tail with majority of the candle pushed down to the bottom third. Now, in areas of the high of the day or low of the day, you want to make sure that you have momentum going in that direction. So here we have, you can see this bottoming tail here, right here on this red candle here. And that one could have been one that we could have capitalized on, but I generally mark an area around the round number of support right below it and resistance just above it. So the low end of my round number zone on NQ today was 95. So that would have me taking a breakdown right in that area. So I would not be interested in that one right there. What I do like is I like this one right here, where we've got the majority of the candle pushed up in the upper third. And so what I would look for is I would look for a breakdown under that candle. The room closed at 11:30, but I reminded everybody that that looked like it would be a good breakdown, and you can see that it did work out fine. This one here, you can see this is a nice topping tail here, but unfortunately this was into the high of the day, which was the all-time high. So that would be questionable as to how much follow through you would get. But this one I like a lot, and you're going to want to look for those on a 5-minute, 15, 30, or 60 on one of the larger charts. And then what you want to see is, so I have this marked on all my charts so you'll be able to see it. You want to see an opening in the volume area below that spot here. And so right here is that area that I just marked for the possible breakdown off the 5-minute. So you can see it's showing up on my 1-minute. And at the time, we did have some opening in volume here. Since then, it's filled up. But what you'd like to see is you'd like to see like something like this, where you have this little opening between a couple high volume areas or something like that. Anywhere where you've got some gaps in the volume, giving you a heads up as to the area it would likely react. So in taking this, before I close the room, I said if you take this breakdown under 92.25, you might get hung up in this little area here. And again, you're just looking to the left to see where price had reacted. And at the time, this volume area was open with it picking up a little bit of thickness in the volume node right in this area of 86.50. So realistically, that was going to be your first possible reaction area, and you can see that price barely even reacted there, it just kept on going. So just like with any other entry that you take, if you were short there, once price traded through, you could move your stop above that area and look down to the next area, which would be, you know, over here in this vicinity here around 81, and then you'd be looking here around 77, and then this was the regular trading hours 50% fib retracement. So obviously, if you took that, you got a lot more than you bargained for, and it's nice when that happens. But don't, don't forget to look at the possible areas of reaction so that you can decide if you wanted to take the entry and see how much room there is. Don't just go in blind. If there's no room, you're not going to take it. And so if we refer back to the 5-minute chart, you can look for other bottoming tails. So once price trades through that area that we have marked there, it's no longer valid. So once it traded through there, that's it, it's done. You can't take it again. So you're looking for new ones. New one would be a nice big bottoming tail pushed up toward the upper third with opening in the volume. And so you can see that you've got one right here. I'll mark it right here. And I'm going to just have that show up on all the charts so you can see it when we look at it on the 1 minute chart. So right here. And so what time was that? That was at 11:50. So let's see what that looked like on the 1 minute chart here, which would have been right here. And so breakdown through that spot was 64 and change. And looking to our left, realistically, I don't know what the volume looked like at that time because I wasn't trading at that time. So if we were going to take that, we would want to make sure that we had some opening in the volume below us. Like I said, it's filled in since then, so I don't know what it looked like at that time. So let's say that we did have an opening in volume there and we took this under the 64.25 area. I would be looking over in this general area here where we were getting reaction previously around that 57 as my first possible target area. And if you're trading off your range chart, like once you mark those on your chart that you're seeing that big bottoming tail or topping tail, you can enter in off any chart that you're looking at. So here it is on the range chart, the first one that we talked about at 92.25, and then the second one here at 64 and change. And this is the halfway mark for Globex hours. So if I was looking at that and taking that at 64, I would have to be really cautious about taking that into that halfway mark. So chances are I probably would have passed on that second one. If you go back to your 5 minute chart, you can see here you've got a big topping tail here, right here. And so again, once price breaks through this here, then it's no longer valid, so you get rid of it. Then you can see you get one here, right here, under this candle here. So you would look to see what kind of opening in volume there is below. I can already guess there probably isn't much of one, but you can see when price does break through that area here, it does follow through. So as always, you're going to look to see where the likely struggle spot would be. So if I was taking that, I would probably say that this general area down here would be the area of support. And you can look at it on a 15 minute if you need to get a better view, or a 1 minute, whatever chart gives you the clearest view. So then once price breaks that area here where you have that bottoming tail, you get rid of it. You get rid of the line that you drew. You have a big topping tail here. So if we were going to take that, so let's just mark that and look at that for later. And I already know that probably it's not going to be one that we want to take as a breakout, because I have a feeling there's probably a lot of volume there when we look at it. So there it is, 79.75. So let's just look at this on the 1 minute here. So here's that area, 79.75, this brown line. And so in taking that as a breakout, you can see that we do have some resistance in this area up here, let's say around 82. So if you took that, that would be your first reaction area. And then if it gets through there, then your next resistance would be that area above you. So that one might work out. Then you have this one here on the 5 minute as a possible breakdown. You can see it right here, right? Bottoming tail. And let's see what that looks like under that area. And so I'm just going to mark it so I can see it on the 1 minute, the chart that I have the volume on. So that's 41.50. So if we get a breakdown under that area, 41.50, it doesn't look great just because we've got high volume in that area as well as a lot of support. So that one I would probably pass on. And you can look for those on your 15 minute chart, big bottoming tails or topping tails with majority of the candle pushed to the bottom third or the upper third. So right here, you can see that we have one here on the 15 minute chart from this morning. And above that high would be above 96.08. that would be hard to want to take into the high of the day and the all-time high. You might get a quick flush through there, but you have to get ready probably pretty quickly to take back, take your profits. All right, so I hope you find that helpful. If you go to my site, you guys, I did put up this link, this page here on the site, access to past webinar recordings. And so they're all the most popular ones and the ones that I use most are listed there. So if you want to check them out, that one there for the breakout breakdown is there. And as always, the proceeds go to worthy causes close to my heart. And I hold nothing back, so you'll get everything that you need for the setup. And as always, if you have any questions, you can always shoot me an email. Also, another reminder is that Gordon's indicators are really helpful in the 1 minute and the Slinky setup for NinjaTrader 8 because it will mark longs OB, or it will mark, this one will mark the 40-point gappers, which is really, really helpful. If you're trading the Renko setup, he's got that program to mark the entries as well as the MACD, letting you know what direction you're looking for the trade. And we've got the Renko, that's that one. And then we've got the HMA scalp indicator, which is for the Renko. And you'll get the webinar recordings with any of the indicators that you buy of Gordon. So you will get access to the trade setup webinar recordings that go hand in hand with these indicators. And then we've got the Ichimoku, the most recent, the Ichimoku Kijin entry signals, which will mark the entries based on closing above or below that Kijin line with our stochastic agreeing. And as always, the stochastics are always the double stochastics that I use for the Slinky and the 1 minute. And so, like I said, Gordon's indicator makes for a nice visual. Okay, you guys, any questions, please feel free, shoot me an email. And I hope you have a fabulous day, and we'll talk to you all later. Take care.